We're just going to be Endwalking all over the place on the Carbuncle Chronicle. Hello, adventurers, to the Carbuncle Chronicle, your podcast for everything awesome in Final Fantasy XIV. I play a Lalafell summoner main named 4K Ridus K, but you can call me Basil.
I'm Anna. I play a Lalafell bard dancer main named Cormia Ridus K.
I'm Kevin. When I do play, I'm a Rogadin female, Freywida Unsildarin. And I tend to hop around classes, but last seen mostly being a Reaper.
Hi, I'm Douglas, more commonly known as Umi, and I play a very purple bun boy also named Umi de la Lune, because my husband and I are creative when we named our characters, and we just used our names and then a last name we made up.
And that's us. It's been a minute since we've done a Carbuncle Chronicle, so please pardon us getting back into the swing of things.
A lot has happened.
Have we done one since Endwalker came out yet?
Nope.
Or
the last
what?
one we did was the
Getting hyped for Endwalker.
Oh, man.
Was it the announcement showcase with Denmo and
It was-
Jazz?
Yes, it was the announcement showcase with Denmo and Jazz.
So
it's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute. That's okay. That's okay. We were now very much, into the 14 swing of things. We're just getting back into the podcast about 14 and swing of things. And if everything goes well, knocking on wood noise here, this might even be a monthly thing. Maybe we'll see. I'm not. I want to commit to it, but I'm not going to commit to it because that is the road to folly.
Not the least of which is, I'm not going to be reliable as a reoccurring voice on this podcast because I just don't play the game on the regular. I hop in when there's new story material.
Hey, guess what? There's new story material in a couple of weeks.
But how close are we to a new expansion? Because that's when
We're about halfway.
I'll hop on and catch up, and then I'll...
Probably like a year and a half away.
Yeah.
So anyways, by the time this podcast comes out, you'll still be able to hunt for Moogle Irrelevant Tombstones of Verity, because that's going on until the launch of patch 6.2, which is the end of this month.
I need to get on farming some of these Moogle tombstones because a lot of the stuff that's in there is stuff I didn't have because it was stuff that was like later Bloodstorm.
Well, there's two big items that I'm particularly going for. There's obviously, every time they do this, there's something for 100 tomes, and usually it's an earring that has never been in the game before. And this time, it is an earring of the Demon Brick, which is a very cute little brick with wings, and yeah. The other big ticket item, it's only 50 tomes, but it's the Wind-Up Elven minion, and that is a very rare minion from Eureka. This is the time to get it.
So you know what I was saying about how it says this is a bunch of stuff that I didn't get because I just wasn't playing at the time when most of this stuff came out? Ironically, I went back and did all the Eureka stuff, and I did just get that.
You did?
Organically.
Wow. Because there's one minion from Eureka I don't have. It's the Copycat Bulb. Like, I didn't have the Elven, because I never could get it. But I did buy it with my tomes. But the Copycat Bulb is the other one that I have yet to get. But I'm proud.
Now,
congratulations for getting that one organically, because wow.
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten, I still haven't done, like, the end raids for Eureka and the other one.
Oh, Baja, yeah.
Baja yet. I've still been waiting to do that, but like so much stuff has just been coming up that like even though like I'm a member of the of all the Discord servers that like actually sit there and organize it, I never actually volunteer to go on one because it's just I just keep continuing to have stuff come up like.
Oh yeah, like it. You have to be in the mindset to do it. Like, all right, I'm feeling confident. Let's go. And you have to like just get in and sign up and do it. And it's hard. It is hard. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff for Verity. There's a lot of mounts. Some glamour items. And then, as always, writing maps for previous zones you've never gotten them in. Mostly Realm Reborn zones.
And if nothing else, there's magicked prisms of job mastery in times 10.
Nah, see, if nothing else, there's the maps that guarantee portals.
That's true.
That's what you do.
Although, sadly, they're not the guarantee portals for the Endwalker maps. They're still Shadowbringers maps.
Oh, are they? I was not paying attention to that.
Well, that's still cool, because I still need those titles anyway. So, Basil, I suggest that you and I go farm up some tombstones. Let me get all the mounts and stuff, and you just get maps, and then we just go do maps.
Oh, I still got a decent stack of those maps, too.
I've got 2. I tried to do one by myself as a warrior last night. I got through it okay. But I mean, I got kicked out, but I got through it okay. It just took a really long time by myself. And but there's a minion I still need from it, so I'm down to go whenever y'all want to.
Yeah.
But not just this event is going on. We have one starting next Wednesday?
Yes, theoretically, by this time this episode goes out, the very next day, the new Moonfire event, Prepare to Dive, will happen, which is going from August 10th to August 26th. You'll start in Limsa. I'm sure we'll just go to Coastal del Sol, because that's how this works, and we'll do something cool, like a fate or two, and we'll get neat items. We got a new outfit that everyone got to see on some billboards earlier for other reasons that you shouldn't have seen them yet, but And a cool bonfire looking thing.
Yeah, the bonfire is neat.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun.
From the Basil spotted in the artwork that we might be getting the jump puzzle back. We haven't had it the last couple of Moonfire fairs. Ever since they introduced flying in Realm Reborn areas, we haven't had it.
I'm willing to bet they'll do whatever that status effect is where you can't fly right now.
Yeah.
Will probably occur around that area. I even wonder if it's going to involve like the bombs, because the Moonfire Fair is always like, oh shoot, there is bombs running around. We gotta go deal with them before everything gets too explodey.
Yep.
So I could absolutely see that that being a thing. Being a theme of like, oh, it's too explodey, so you can't just fly around here because there's all these explosions.
And another thing happening this week, actually on Friday, we'll be getting the second part of the live letter for patch 6.2.
By the time that patch comes out, the next Carbuncle Chronicle will probably be about that patch, because we'll have already been playing it, because theoretically, if things work timing-wise as I am hoping that they do, the Carbuncle Chronicle, if we actually do get to do a monthly thing, I would like it to be the second week of whatever month it is, will be the Carbuncle slot.
So basically, the September episode is going to be Final Fantasy Harvest Moon. Because we didn't think we were getting it, but they've put out a promotional site for 6.2. Island Sanctuary is coming in 6.2. Like, it's not coming in a 6.2x patch. We're getting it on 6.2. So that's going to be interesting.
I worry that I worry that the developers have been breaking their backs trying to get this content to us, when it's really nice that they're getting it to us, and I'm going to have fun playing it. I'm really looking forward to it. But I also know that I would have been perfectly happy if they had just been like, improving stuff that already exists in the game rather than making a whole new thing.
Yeah, that's true. But though they are doing a lot of improvement. I don't know if you, I know the Likes Level, they talked about this. You can request mending.
Other folks
now.
can meld for you now.
Yeah. You can even do it in battle. Even in battle, you can go up to someone and request a mend. That's going to be awesome.
That is going to be a game changer. I mean, not for me, because I can mend all my armor anyway.
Right.
But
But for those folks
of
that
us
don't
aren't crazy,
but for people who are not insane, oh my gosh, I got all my melee DPS is over 90 now.
yay! Congrats.
So that means I just have to I have 2 levels left on range DPS. Bard and Machinist are still at 89. And then I just have to get the tanks up.
Wow, you've been scooting along on that project.
Yeah.
I've been very slow about raising, because I'm currently working on Warrior Machinist. Warrior's in the 80s, Machinist is in the 70s. But I've been mostly doing just random frontline roulettes and beast tribes. So it's been slow going, but it's going ever so slowly.
I feel like this kind of is taking us into the first point of Endwalker in that we got a level cap this expansion.
It's true. So
Yeah.
let's take a musical interlude and let's talk about the latest expansion for the critically acclaimed MMO Final Fantasy XIV, which, yes, does include a free trial up to level 60, which includes the award-winning expansion Heavensward, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about Endwalker. We'll be right back. Alright, so, Endwalker. It is the 5th expansion, yes? Because it's 6.0, but technically, as far as 14 concerns, we start with 2.0. So it's the 5th expansion. That sounds right.
No.
Is it the 4th?
So it is the 5th expansion from 1.0. It's the 4th expansion from 2.0 because Heavensward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, and Walker.
Okay. Cool.
Guess it depends on whether you count Realm Reborn as a whole new damn game.
I mean, it is.
I mean, it is. I mean, it has its own has a different plot line, a different everything else. But technically there was a 1.0, so it does make sense. But man, is it hard for my brain to sometimes remember, okay, well, it's patch 6 point something, but it's the 4th expansion, which requires me to do a -2. This is like trying to think through like time zones, and it's terrible.
But teacher, I'll never need any of this math in real life.
And then MMOs happened.
Yes.
So yeah, okay, so 4th expansion, once again, produced and directed by Lord and Savior Naoki Yoshida, although granted, also the primary storyline people besides Banri Oda. Banri Oda, who is the ultimate, like, endpoint lore guy. I think since 1.0, I think he might actually originally been an 11 guy who's now just in charge of 14, as far as the plot stuff goes. But also Natsuko Ishikawa, who did lots of storyline bits, like, for example, she did, like, the Dark Knight quest lines. She did the Azim Step stuff in Stormblood, which everyone really liked that part of Stormblood. She also was the lead story person behind all of Shadowbringers, as well as Endwalker, and it makes a whole lot of sense because in a lot of ways, Endwalker does feel like Shadowbringers 2.
Yes.
Shadowbringers 2, Darker Shadows.
Oh, man. I know I brought this up in the bonus episode, but I did not realize just how much Final Fantasy III really did influence Shadowbringers. Like, holy crap, does Natsuko Ishikawa really like Final Fantasy III?
Heck, even
It's
the
a pretty
music.
interesting story. 3's a pretty solid Final Fantasy, in my opinion. Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely doing some things, interesting things that I was not expecting out of that. That's a different podcast. We're talking about Final Fantasy XIV. The lead localizer is now Catherine Sin Nyar. I'm going to pronounce Kate's last name incorrectly, but who is a person I follow on Twitter and did not realize that, oh, you're the new lead localizer, because Michael Christopher Kochi Fox, who I'm sure is still present and helping out here and there, he's currently busy being the lead localizer for Final Fantasy 16, which is also, was it Creative Division 3 is what they're called now?
Something like that.
Which is Yoshida's like general overall group that he's in charge of, which handles like all the MMO stuff. So also Dragon Quest 10, Final Fantasy 11, because it still gets updates here and there, and 14, but they're also working on Final Fantasy 16. And a lot of folks that left who worked on like Heaven's Ward moved over to work on 16.
I mean, and we didn't realize it until this expansion. I think the first live letter after Endwalker released, people were talking about Koji in the chat, and they went, actually, Kate did lead localization for Endwalker and Shadowbringers.
I think it was starting with the Shadowbringers patches.
Oh, okay.
That was lead localizer.
Gotcha.
I'm sure that is probably where they were starting to transition stuff. But also, for example, Masayoshi Soken, who composed the majority of the soundtrack, he's also working on the soundtrack for 16, which is probably why they also officially brought on, among other folks, Takafumi Imamura and Daiki Ishikawa, not to be confused with Natsuko Ishikawa, as arrangers and co-composers for some of the tracks.
Like, the music of this expansion was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, not that the soundtrack has been bad in any aspect of this game, ever, but...
So how is the name of
Soken?
Yeah,
Masayoshi Soken's doing?
Yeah,
as far
how's
as we
Soken
know,
doing?
so far I know he's still kicking cancer's ass.
Okay, I felt like a lot of the narrative and the tone of this was colored by the knowledge that somebody very integral to the creative team was going through something like this.
I can see that being, like, a big driving force.
Like, I think this this is the best expansion that they have made so far to this point. Like, I definitely think it is. And I think that for a lot of people, it's a little bit like a religious awakening. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I know the themes, like, they don't talk about... Well, they do talk about religion to a certain extent. You know, the religion of, like, Heidelin and whatnot. But there's also, like, some real-world religious connotations going on here. And it deals very much with a lot of Buddhist tenets. I was actually really worried about it at first because I saw... I don't know if you guys know much about the religion of... Oh, Kevin, do you remember what the religion's called?
I
Happy
might
Science.
need... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you said the word religion. You didn't say the word cult.
Yeah, you see, there's a cult called Happy Science, and as I was playing through the game the first time around, I was getting really worried about how close a lot of the tenets were to Happy Science. But then,
I think I even made a comment about that. It was like, wait a minute, this is what Happy Science actually believes.
yeah, like at a few points it felt like they needed that in big, flashing, bold letters at the bottom of the screen. This is what Happy Science actually believes. But then, like, somebody reminded me that, you know, Happy Science itself, the guy openly has said that he had a lot of influence from Utopia, and so if you go and read Utopia, you start to see, oh no, this isn't a reference to that, it's a reference to a lot of the common starting points. And so if you read the philosophies presented in the book Utopia, which I have admittedly not read, and then you familiarize yourself with the actual tenets of Buddhism. And I say the actual tenets of Buddhism because a lot of times when we talk about Buddhism here in the West, we tend to talk about the very self-serving aspects of it. We tend to not actually address the overall doctrines that it has as an actual religion and philosophy. But those are what really gets hinted on here. And I think part of it is because, to me, the expansion dealt a lot with grief.
Yeah.
And I could just be saying that because we're coming out of COVID, and I personally was dealing with a lot of grief, and so that's what I saw in it.
Aren't we all in some way or another?
I know. And so I think it was very topical that it came out when it did. I think it speaks to a lot of very deep-seated emotions that people have. I want to do an entire Carbuncle Chronicle where I just explain to people who haven't played the game why everybody who plays this expansion is so sad. Because just about everybody I know that played this expansion was brought to tears at some point.
Yep, many points.
And it speaks to, like, the strength of the narrative itself that, you know, Anna, you were telling me that you were watching all these different YouTubers and streamers as they were like live streaming their playthroughs of it. You know, everybody pretty much had the same reactions at the same time, and that's some powerful storytelling right there.
Yeah, and honestly, I think I have watched just about every streamer's reaction to, like, not just the game it's entirely, but very big specific points that just really, like, affected me so much. And to see other people reacting how I did kind of felt validated and seen a little bit. But yeah, the fact that so many people reacted so similarly.
Like,
yeah, because
everybody at level 82 goes, wait a minute, what? We're level 82, why is this happening now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, if you don't know, this expansion gets a little dark.
So I've learned through playing this expansion, I think next expansion will finally have, like, the 2 different rooms for playing, and I may decide to play, me and Anna like playing together, but I may play in a different room, because a lot of the times that would have been emotional for me really fell flat, because Anna's ahead of me and is just right beside me, just freaking the goddamn 7 hells 12 out over what's happening. And, well, you couldn't help it, and I don't blame you. But for me, I was so distracted. A lot of points were like, wasn't that point really sad? And I was like, no, not really. Like mentally, theoretically, like, I see why it is, and I believe it's good storytelling. I just felt like, you know, Anna was just, you know, having miniature nervous breakdowns to the right of me that just, you know, colored me going through. Well, I mean, I knew some. I sort of already, even though she was doing her best to not spoil anything, because we were also so close to in the same points with each other, I was just a little bit behind because I don't read as fast as Anna. You know, it was just, I think next time I want to play in the same house, but maybe not in the same room while we're doing, like, major cutscene stuff.
Yeah.
So while Barry and I were playing together, we kept up more or less at the same time so that we didn't spoil each other like that. But we got to this one point at the end of the game, and everybody who's played it knows what point we were at, where Barry turned around and he looked at me, and I do not cry easily over media. I wouldn't say that it's impossible to get, like, a tear out of me, but it takes a lot more. I was not able to control my sobbing. And so he just kind of quietly stopped playing the story for a little while to make sure I was okay first.
Aww.
Aww.
And then he went through and played it, which he thought it was sad. Like, he also thought it was sad.
Which is funny because Barry's actually way more of a person who's potentially going to have, like, the actual tears during, like intense storyline bits.
Yeah. Usually he's the one that, like, he's walking out of the theater going, "Oh, that had me in tears."
So, yeah, and this is only the first half of this podcast. Like, we're going to go into spoilers. Just not yet. So we're going to take a step back from the story and instead talk about jobs. For one thing, we're all level 90 now, and that changes things.
Being level 90 now versus being level 90 at the end of when it released is different. Like they've really gone through and tweaked some of the job classes and changed a bunch of them even at 90. And so they all play differently than how they did even at the end of Endwalker.
Yeah.
And then some of it hasn't changed. It's just been allowed to organically change the way it was intended to with increase to gear. Like, with scaling from getting more and more powerful gear.
Right, because they sort of theoretically, they plan ahead and they sort of built in the planned progression of power from the end point of 6.0 up until we launch with, 7.0, the next expansion, a year and a half from now. So that's like 2 years that they've got to anticipate further growth just on a purely stat level.
Right.
Yeah. Boy, I remember when item level was the same as your level. Those were weird times, weren't they?
Yeah, that from level 1 to level 50, your item level is the same as your level. And I still remember back in the days when we were playing at level 50, as 50 was the cap at the time, and I remember them having the debate over, are we gonna let item levels get too far away from the actual level? And, it was a fight every time they did, a 5-level increase.
And then they figured it out and they decided, you know what? No, the numbers can get higher.
Yeah.
Although, as far as actually pure stats go, they did do, a stat squish, especially, so I think from level 1 to 50, where they realized their numbers were just getting absurdly large, and it was actually making numbers so large they were having issues processing it server side. And so they needed to lower all the numbers down a few notches because I know they needed for the numbers to get bigger still. And they couldn't get them bigger than what they already were. So they needed to dial it back down so that way they could dial it up later. Which has also caused this really interesting thing where they've also, because level 90 exists, but they've also kind of figured out the max amount of buttons a class can have. And they kind of figure that out during Shadowbringers. But Endwalker, you're level 90, so you need to be more powerful than you were when you're at level 80. But what does that mean if we've already maxed out buttons? And so, while some jobs have really changed, all the jobs have gone through a decent bit of massaging to try and essentially make 90 different, but still use the same total amount of actions, give or take, as you did back when we were 80.
It seems, as someone who plays on a controller, it seems to be they're trying to keep the actions on the amount you can fit on the controller hotkeys.
Which, granted, they've also
using your L and R buttons,
Yeah, they've added more and more hotbars to the controller, but I think because the controller exists, and frankly, I also benefit from it because, for example, I use an MMO mouse, so I've got 12 keys on my thumb, and I use control to shift between two different hotbars, and so 24 buttons I can just hit with a couple of clicks is my best, and a lot of the jobs will work with that. And so I'm grateful to my controller brethren who has also made sure that I can use my mouse just fine as well.
As a person who uses only a regular mouse and keyboard, I still feel like a bunch of classes have too many buttons.
That's valid. Honestly, we're probably right. There are probably some classes that still need to be shaved a little. I mean, in Basil's defense, he came from the class that had all the buttons to now being way more simpler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Summoner has very drastically changed. Now, they did introduce 2 new jobs, Sage and Reaper, but I know Summoner, was it Machinist?
Was
That got
it
the major
Machinist?
changes?
No, I mean, I don't think any.
Summoner
I remember
class.
they mentioned 2 jobs specifically, Summoner and... Or was it just Summoner? It was just Summoner.
Yeah, they've got 2
Summoner...
jobs they're going to be working on for 7.0 that we know
Right,
of.
right. Okay, so yeah, Summoner is drastically...
Summoner you can play on a controller now, and previously you could not.
No, Summoner was using all the keys and then some. I remember back in the day, before this, people go, "Hey, Basil, yeah, you play Summoner, right? Yeah. How do you play Summoner? I don't know. I just do it."
That is my current reaction to how to play Black Mage. It's like,
Yeah.
You hit fire a bunch. Different fires for different times. I don't know. You just kind of know which one to do.
Like, Summoner became just like the most technique focused, like nuanced, like it was you were constantly hitting buttons, there were people like getting, carpal tunnel issues just from playing Summoner, and they decided that was not what we wanted, and in fact it was still like just a really crazy dot mage, and they decided we don't even want this to be a dot mage anymore, and so they decided, you know what, maybe we should really put the summoning back into Summoner, and that's what they did. Where now you actually summon things, and the summons do
That's
stuff.
Crazy.
Right?
Yeah, that's never going to work. That's crazy.
And now the fan base is split on whether or not this was a good thing. There are people who are like, holy crap, I can actually play this now. Hot shit, let's play it. Oh, hey, this is pretty fun. There are some die-hard Summoner mains who are like, ugh, this is easy now. This used to be hard. This used to be worth something. I guess I'll just play Black Mage. Ugh. And there are
Only
people
gamers
who's like,
can be upset that their characters are easier to play now.
well, I'm like, man, Summoner go burr. This is still fun. I'm down.
Yeah. I kind of miss my dots. I kind of miss the dots, but I suppose that now leaves it open to make a new dots mage class at some point in the future.
I feel that Summoner is much easier to play. Like, I tried not to touch Summoner in my previous go-rounds. Now it's one of the classes I go to when we're doing, like, easy content and maps and stuff, is because it's easy to play. It spells out fast. You can target enemies real easy. And yes, it has, I feel like it has the lowest, no, it doesn't have the lowest DPS threshold. Okay, I'm talking about the top and the bottom here. Like, if I'm not trying not hard to use my brain or think about anything, then the best magic class is Red Mage. If I actually want to do a little bit of damage and I can handle just, like, the tiniest bit of thought, then Summoner. But it seems like Summoner doesn't have quite as much room to maximize, like, my potential. Like, once I figure out what the rotation is, there's not that much nuance and difference that I need to do in order to eke out those last few DPS goodness, as much as there is with Black Mage, which is all about the finesse. Like, and so Black Mage does right now have the higher DPS tier, the highest DPS ceiling, which at my skill level I am not able to attain. I think as a Black Mage I can do just a little bit less than a decent I can do just a little bit less than a very good summoner. And that's fine. That's probably how it ought to be.
Yeah, no, so, I mean, Black Mage is meant to be the Galaxy Brain class.
Yeah.
It's also Naoki Yoshida's class, so, of course, the guy who makes the game, who can do whatever he wants in this game, of course, his class is going to be the finesse class, because he understands the finesse probably better than anyone short of other people on the dev team, who probably actively work on Black Mage.
Yeah.
He's probably there like, this class makes perfect sense. It's easy. No problems.
Well, especially, like, with Black Mage, you don't mind us transitioning into talking about Black Mage now, do you, Basil?
No, I don't mind it.
Okay. Especially at the moment with all like okay, so you now have now have two stacks of triple casts and I think like 3 swift casts. And I think they also reduced the cooldown on how long on your ley lines. So there basically is never a moment where I'm not doing something to mitigate my spell casting. But even with that, like, you're still better off saving that so that you can keep casting your current rotation while moving, because there's just so much moving involved in this game. And if I could just stand still and just blast everything, I would do so much more damage. But that is, in fact, where the strategy of the game comes in that you still have to be able to move, and you still have to be able to do the little dance.
And the whole theory is, technically, I believe the range of most, for example, lowest DPS but highest, what am I thinking of? Utility. Lowest DPS, highest utility for magic is Red Mage. Then Summoner is supposed to slot in the middle, and then Black Mage is the purely selfish magic DPS. So it's actually supposed to be the highest DPS, but you have to be able to work for it.
Yeah.
All blasting all the time.
Yeah.
It's not dissimilar to, for example, Dancer for ranged DPS is most utility, least DPS. Then there's Bard, which is in the middle, the Machinist, which is all selfish. So it has the highest DPS potential, but does not have the utility that the other two have.
Right. I think that Black Mage in the future, I think Black Mage should probably be looked at and reevaluated and streamlined a little bit better, because it's probably not good for new players that we have this class that you can't really explain how to play to somebody. like that's probably not actually a good thing. But since I have been playing Black Mage since level 50, I'm fine with it. I understand how to play it currently. And I like it. I like where it's sitting. But oh my gosh, it was so funny. It was so funny when Yoshi P went and tried to PvP with a Black Mage, and then all of a sudden Black Mage got all these buffs.
Yes.
That then immediately had to go away because they buffed them way too hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny.
I've also noticed, man, the growth of leveling a job has definitely changed. Where, like, for example, I think between 60 and 70, you don't get a whole lot. Like, a lot of it's trait based, and then there's just huge chunks of it where they clearly are like, "No, you're just gonna push on through this. Like, you're gonna get the really good stuff between 70 and 90." But it has been interesting leveling jobs, because I haven't really leveled jobs in forever. It's actually been a case of Umi being like, I'm going to level all these things, and I need Roulette Buddy, so you're going to come with me on this journey, so you might as well be leveling up some classes. To which I went, yeah, okay. I can actually start leveling out some of these jobs. So that's been interesting. But we also have 2 new jobs, Sage and Reaper. I can safely say Reaper is a lot of fun to play.
Yes.
Reaper
Yes,
is a
it
lot of fun. I like... I'm sort of a sucker for a super mode, and that's kind of Reaper's deal.
Yeah, that's Reaper's whole deal. Reaper's whole deal is that Reaper has a super mode.
It's okay. You build up your gauge, and then you just go ape shit for a couple minutes.
Yeah. Prior to Endwalker, I was not excited about Sage or Reaper. Like, I was like, cool, new jobs, whatever. But those two have quickly become 2 of my favorite. Like, Reaper may be my main melee, and Sage might be irking out Astro for my main healer. Like,
Yeah.
I love them a lot.
I leveled, so when Endwalker first came out, me and Basil played it, and I was like, I'm going to be a Bun Boy Reaper. I'm going to be the most I'm going to be the thing that everybody is playing, and everybody will look at me and know I'm terrible because I'm playing the meme thing. But it didn't take very long before I realized, and this is after I've been, I've gone through this whole thing as, a black mage or a white mage. Like, I've gone back and forth between whether I'm a black mage or a white mage. But I was like, no, in Endwalker, I'm going to be a Reaper. And I suddenly discovered that I don't have any idea how to play through melee DPS. And so I really, I was both good at it and I sucked at it at the same time. Like, I was not good at reading what the boss is going to do for when you're right up on him. So that is the major reason I set off on this. I'm gonna play every class to 90 is mostly so that I could just learn how to melee DPS, because I want to come back to Reaper now that I've spent some time as a Dragoon and as a Monk and as all the other ones. Because it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun being the Reaper, and hopefully now I cannot stand in fire.
That's
I
always
don't
the
understand.
goal.
So it has positionals with I think it's the only class left that has positionals.
No. All melees have 2 positional.
Yeah. But with Reaper, you really need to pay attention to it, because a lot of it really makes a difference with your DPS if you're actually doing, all the positionals associated with it. Whereas kind of with, I know at least with Ninja and Samurai, I don't even know what the 2 positionals are. I just know when I'm about to do my big stuff, I turn on True North and go wild. But
yeah,
Reaper is just a little bit more mindful with the positionals, but it's still just so much fun to play.
Yeah, I set up the hotkeys so that, in regards to the buttons, they were pointing in the direction, sort of, at least to remind me which ones they were. Like,
Yeah.
it as a
Nice.
mental reminder.
The Xenoblade approach.
Basically, yeah.
but
So
yeah,
how does Sage actually work? I still don't understand Sage at all.
I
Every time I
feel
had to
like
heal, I would spam all the blue buttons and hope to God people were healed, and overall it worked.
Well, and the funny thing is, I think with Sage, they were like, all right, healers want a DPS. Fine. Put Cardia on your tank, and when you DPS, you heal them.
But that
And-
never
and
felt like
that-
it was enough heals.
It's not. I mean, you have your basic, the big thing, Sage is a shield healer. So you've got the shields, you've got, Eucrasia to put on the shields. And then, you've got your sort of your Adder's Gall and stuff like that for your kind of like your Aether Flow type stuff from Summoner and Scholar. They give you access to special buttons like your bubble or like some group healing and stuff like that. And they give you a couple of shields for tanks and stuff. But the big thing is whoever's got Cardia on them, when you're doing your main attack or your AoE attack, those count, and so when you land hits on them, it heals your target of your Cardia. Same with Phlegma, that's one of those that you have two stacks of. And so it's just while you're doing DPS, you're also healing, so it's kind of like a constant regen a little bit.
My feeling on it was that it played a lot to me like Scholar did back at 60. Yeah, it played a lot to me like Scholar did back at 60. I know in terms of the healing, but it really felt to me like Scholar is for farming. Scholar is for going in and doing something that everybody is very well prepared to do, and so because you are free to do DPS, because your DPS does a latent heal, you can make it go faster. But if you're in a situation where you need that clutch, it kind of doesn't have anything. It doesn't have very many oh shit buttons. When I was leveling Scholar, I got a lot of compliments in that I could oh shit heal, but that's not the normal operation of the class.
I and this is me talking out my butt because I really don't know, but it seemed to me like Scholar would work better in like a full party with another healer that's the more on the like white mage that's more like straight healing shit.
Well, they said that they did that. They were talking about how they had grouped the healers into two categories of healers: shield healers and straight healers, and an astrologian and white mage were going to be the pure healers, and sage and scholar are going to be the shield healers, and that they were going to try to balance it out so that when you're in duty finder, you should get one shield healer and one pure healer. But in practice, as I've been using the duty finder, I haven't actually noticed that coming to fruition.
I'm sure in reality it's kind of you're kind of taking what healers you could get. There's already a line for this shit.
I white mage main this time around, and I very much feel that as a white mage, it is my job to keep everybody up to full. Like, if you drop down below full, I am going to shed out my heal to get you back up. But I'm also really depending on the shield healer, whoever I'm with, to just have a shield up so that hopefully you don't take a lot of damage. Hopefully your health bar doesn't go down because I am so reactive in how all my spells work and everything.
Yeah.
Because it seems like you had like a scholar and a white mage or astrologian like working well together. You probably would be doing pretty good as a party, health-wise.
Well, yeah, it's true. If you had a white mage, and slash or an astrologian, working together with a scholar, you should have really great protection, unless one of them isn't really doing their job. That is kind of what I see happen with a lot of sages, is that for some reason they don't put up their shield, and I don't know why. And I don't know why they don't just throw it up and then go back to DPSing.
Because they have no clue how to play Scholar, like many of us.
Well, I said Sage. Scholars actually are usually pretty good about keeping their low-level shield up.
I meant Sage when I I know. They're practically the same word.
I will say one thing that made me so happy this expansion. Bard is at the best it's ever been since Heavensward.
Oh yeah, Bards are Chads.
I'm so happy with Bard.
Bards are Chads.
But, speaking though, Kevin mentioned covering butts. Belts are gone, and that feels good.
Yes, no more belts. My inventory is nice.
You can finally breathe easy without your belt.
I actually haven't even thought about it. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh yeah, belts are good. Oh, such a relief, no more belts. Because I mostly just don't think about it. They're gone and it makes no difference.
Right.
Yeah.
If belts showed up as a thing on your character, I would probably care. But
they don't. They never have, so
like, I don't really need those belts. Whatever.
Like it was a thing where in 1.0 belts were actual like physical objects on the character. They actually were visually there. It was a part of the outfits, but you actually could equip them and de-equip them. Whereas in 14, the belts graphically are just incorporated into the torso piece anyways. Yeah. So they realized, wait, we could get some inventory slots back and we don't even need to. We can just rebalance the numbers. It's fine. As it turns out, it is fine. What's also not fine, it's actually great, is the new small-scale PvP, especially with Crystalline Conflict.
I love Crystalline Conflict. It's so nice. I wasn't done
talking about classes.
You still play classes in Crystalline Conflict and PvP?
Okay. I wanted like some more of my like sage naysaying.
Okay. I mean,
Which I say Sage naysaying, but I actually really have fun playing Sage a lot of the times. Like, I don't think it's good for clutch healing, but I have a lot of fun doing it. But what I have noticed playing Sage is that it matters a lot to Sage what what your tank is. The different tanks are not equal when it comes to what they can do as far as what kind of like damage can they mitigate.
Oh yeah. Like, warriors, don't worry about me. I'm good. I can heal myself all day long.
Yeah.
Other ones, that might.
That class interpretation of warrior that goes all the way back. That goes all the way back to A Realm Reborn of I'm basically perfect. I'm basically the perfect class. I don't need anybody. Is still true of warrior. Like they took warrior's self-heal away and now they've given it back and warrior's basically fine.
Yeah, on a super
Yeah,
short cooldown.
and Shadowbringers, I really, really caught into Gunbreaker. I really, really enjoyed Gunbreaker. I joke, and I still am serious when I say it, it's my favorite melee class. I really enjoy Gunbreaker. And so that was the first tank level thing I did back to 90 when I was done with Summoner. Because I'm like, yeah, and I got a couple of self-heals. It's fine. It ain't nearly what the other classes have, especially Warrior. And I didn't realize just how fragile a Gunbreaker actually was in comparison. But we got to keep moving on. So let's quickly carve out just a little bit of time to talk about how we now have Melviera.
Yay! We now have male Vieira! And the demographics are not what I expected them to be. You know, we're now... How far out are we from the expansion? We're almost like a year?
8 months.
Okay. We're 8 months out from when the expansion actually hit. And it seems like there are just as many bunny boys hanging around as there were the day one, which I was not expecting. I was expecting there to be a lot of bunny boys and then very few bunny boys. So I am still surprised that there are a lot of bunny boys everywhere.
It played to a vocal but niche audience of the gamers, and they were happy to have their niche, apparently.
Now that I have been a bunny boy for 8 months, on the one hand, I've started to realize that the Vieira race have some face issues that I don't know that anybody's really talking about.
How so?
Their foreheads are weird. Like, their face is small and low down on their head, and then they have these large foreheads.
That's the bunny genes.
And I'm not sure if that is an intentional known design thing that they're doing on purpose, or if it's just because they added this race in later, it doesn't look okay. So with the Mikote, there's only 4 faces, but those 4 faces still present a pretty broad range of facial features. So you can get 2 male Mikote with the same face, and they can have all different things like plugged in yes or no, and so they produce a character that looks like 2 very different characters, right?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree, because I've noticed the face, similarity, yeah.
Not so much for the Vieira. Like, I notice I will look at, another Vieira that has my same base face, and despite the fact that I can sit there and pick out that we have picked all different things, I tend to pick the roundest eyes, the lowest eyebrow, larger lips. I tend to go with the long, narrow nose. And then I'll see somebody who has picked the more angled eyes. They've picked one of the smaller noses. They've picked, the smaller mouth. and I'll still compare our two faces to each other, and they still look the same.
That's racist.
It's not.
I'm kidding. I sort of know what you mean, but
but
Yeah.
I think that there isn't enough variation in the fine feachers.
You can see that.
I wonder if
hopefully
that's
that'll be
something that may
something-
change with 7.0 when they introduce all the graphical updates to the game.
Yeah.
That's possible, yeah.
The other thing is like the lack of hairstyles is killing me. Like it's really killing me.
I mean, they've added a lot more since, like in 6.1, I think it was.
I know that Bun Boys started the game with more hairstyles than the ladies had when they started, but I still have so few. I don't even know how the ladies handled it. Like, I just really want a ponytail. I really want a ponytail, but there is no ponytail option that doesn't show off my huge forehead.
Man, speaking to the choir.
I know.
I hate, like, IRL, I hate my forehead so much.
I know, I do too. Not your forehead, my forehead. I also have a very large forehead in real life, and so I cover it up with bangs. And that's what I want in my 14 character. I just want it to cover up with bangs and have a ponytail. And I can't have that for some reason, and I don't know why.
But big foreheads are a charming feature that many very likable anime characters have.
And nice big jaws, so that's easier to animate. Anyways, we need to take a break because recording-wise, we're over 80 minutes in, and we haven't even talked about the spoiler side of things. So we're going to take a musical break, and we're going to come back. And we are back talking about Endwalker, Final Fantasy XIV, the latest expansion, and it is the conclusion of the Heidelin Zodiac arc. And boy, spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler warnings. Tobias, get the hell out of this podcast. Come back when you've done beat Endwalker, Sirens, Omega level, red, coded, whatever. Spoilers are going on right now.
At level 83?
So...
Really? At level 83?
You fight like every single streamer, every single person I've seen, you get to level 83 trial and they go, what the hell's in the rest of this game if we're fighting Zodiac now?
Yeah.
Every single person.
Wait a minute. Here is the big bad guy that we have been building up for 6 expansions since the release of the game, plus A Realm Reborn. And all of these expansions, we've always known that the big bad guy is Zodiac, and we fight him at level 83, and it goes to 90?
Yeah.
Now, at the time, I did consider that he was effectively not at full power when
It's
you
true.
do fight him. So I
It's
thought
true, he
maybe
was
there
not
was
full
going to be
power.
some fuckery with that. Because, being the boss doesn't always mean you beat the boss. So,
Well,
No. The
I
final
thought-
boss was Twitter.
I thought for sure it was going to be Heidelin.
you beat me
Like-
to it, Basil.
A lot of people were convinced
Like-
Heidelin was going to be final boss, yeah.
I thought for sure when you beat I thought for sure when you fought Zodiark at 83, that means that Hydaelyn is going to be the final boss, and then you fight Hydaelyn at 87.
And
No.
Fuck.
you are clearly at this point, especially at the beginning of the expansion, they're really trying to plant the seeds of Hydaelyn ain't telling everything.
Right?
I don't know about this Hydaelyn. And then by the time you're done with Elpis, you're like, Mom, I don't want you to
Turns
go.
Okay, before
Turns
we
out
get
the
to
real
Zodiark,
final boss was depression the whole time.
It's true.
The real final
okay.
boss was the sadness we felt all along.
I do want to go back. So before you get to Zodiark, there's a part, and this part messed me up. I was freaking the fuck out. When we go to Scenic Garlemald, bad shit happens there. I mean, I knew something big was going to happen because a friend of ours said, hey, you need to put a trigger warning for people that says, in this quest, you need a trigger warning. And I was like, okay. Then we get there and what's-his-face shoots himself. So I knew something like that was going to happen. But
the way he shot himself was directly like the way Hitler shot himself.
that would make sense.
Like, the blood splatter on the flag and everything is very emblematic of what the Soviets found when they unearthed.
It was rough. I will say, though, I really liked all of the Garlemald stuff. But after that, you're like, okay, they did this. They went here. All right, let's get all the people that want our help back to camp. Okay, have a cute little scene with our new buddy Julius, who's getting his mind blown at every turn because how can these people be so nice? Like, how? Well, this is not even, and I will say, this is not even, talking about the other 2 deaths we had in this zone. So, you get to that cute little cutscene, and then fucking Fandaniel shows up.
Well, you say that cute little cutscene, but that cutscene hits at a very
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's
like the whole thing with Garlemald hits at a very human thing that happens to people who are undergoing wars. Like I think it's currently happening to the Russian soldiers. It happens when people escape from North Korea. It's entirely possible that it could happen to a lot of Americans right now if we actually went to like Europe and other developed nations and saw what technology is actually capable. We get home and we realize, wait a minute, have we been on the right team all along?
Yeah, when
It's
I
not
say
just
the
the us have
baddies.
the right. It's the reckoning that like you were willing to fight and die for something that was not actually true. That like
Yeah,
you
well,
had
and
been
that-
told.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm. That was the thing, is like his realization of that. Yeah, this is not what we were told. Like this is completely not what we were told, and you get that again later when you go back to Garlemald and he's confronting Xenos. It's like, really, what all of this was, and when Xeno says, "Would you feel better if I said I had a good reason?" Well, no. But
Well, I kind of thought that the whole point with Julius was that it didn't have to happen. None of Garlemald's destruction had to happen. Garlemald destroyed itself, and it didn't have to happen.
yeah, I mean, it was Emmett Salk did his thing. I mean, he's the one that sowed all the seeds, but it was what we did after, what they did afterwards that put them down this path.
I believe you mean Amon.
No,
I thought you said Fandaniel. Did I miss that? I hear that?
I said Emmett.
No, she
I said
said Emmett
Fandaniel during the cutscene. I said Emmett Selk for Garlemald.
Ah.
Yes, when Fandaniel comes and takes you away, when fucking Amon, who we killed in 2.0 or 2.x with Crystal Tower, in a one-off battle you don't think about except for, oh, let's go get his glamour because he has a cool hat. Turns out to be the bad guy. But yeah, so you get taken away and you go to dinner with Xenos.
Oh, how
And
romantic.
the most awkward date ever. You know, like that
Suck it,
whole
Amaric.
part. Hey, I mean, but the whole body swap thing and the duty afterward, like that whole duty, I was freaking out. Because they didn't do a great job of explaining what you need to do. But oh my gosh, my heart was racing because you have the timer, and I was just like,
That
Garlemald
was
is so awfully designed.
I know.
Yeah,
It's just like
I
blackness
completely-
on blackness.
I completely screwed that thing up. I almost like rage quit. You know,
I believe it.
Admittedly, Basil gave me a clue about what we were supposed to be doing, and the second time went so much more smoothly, because it really is just a question of do you wander off in the right direction the first time.
And I'll tell you, with
it's just
Basil,
a
I let
really,
him.
really badly designed duty.
Yeah, I let Basil like do some of his own, and then when he said, "All right, help," that's when I told him where to go.
So I get that it was trying to build up this feeling of despair and helplessness in you, the player. I get that it was trying to do that, and it succeeded in doing that, but I think it could have done that and not also made us angry.
Yeah, there needed to be some better direction.
Yeah,
Because you don't know what you're doing until you find the Magitech armor that's like, oh, you need fuel. It's like, okay, so you go check all of the empty Magitech things, and then you find the one that says fuel-containing Magitech. It's like, well...
Well, is there even anything that says that, like, you need to get, it's the whole thing is problematic. There's so many possible fixes, but I think it would have helped if the whole place had just had a little bit more color. Like, if it hadn't just been, like, black and gray on black and gray.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
If there had just been something to help you perceive depth better in the zone itself.
Yeah, I get that.
I will say, I think this is the absolute, like, lowest point, fun and design-wise, of the expansion. Like, it's also, like, especially that particular mission is, like, the one real black mark
No.
along... No. As far as playing the game and enjoying the game as the game itself.
Okay.
Like, it is the one, like, there are bad things that happen. There are despair things that happen. I'm not saying that. I'm saying at the act of playing the game.
Yeah, mechanically.
This is the one,
Yeah.
mechanically, this is the one duty, the one mission, the one thing you have to do that is just straight up badly designed. You could argue the stealth missions are also not good, but I don't think they're nearly as bad.
Yeah.
They're way less rage-inducing and making me mad at the game.
I didn't really
as this
like
one
the
mission
stealth missions. I didn't really like the stealth missions, but I knew what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, like the stealth missions for me, while they were way more rage inducing, because I was not raging at the duty, I was just panicking at the duty. But because the one, like the first stealth mission with the girl with what's her name, Lucina? No, whatever her name was. That one was annoying because she would see you around stuff. The one that was awful was the little boy like side quest. Where you needed it for one of the Aether Currents. That one, I think they went back and nerfed it. But when it released, that one was bad.
I lucked out. I played lots of Judgment and Lost Judgment last year, so I was perfectly prepped to handle the stealth missions as they interpreted them, because they are essentially the 14 version of Judgment and Lost Judgment stealth missions. Like, literally, I think someone was playing those games and they were also had figured out this whole, like, the Scions can follow you and you can have little moments where you can talk to them while you're out and about in areas. and they repurpose that system to make more of a stealth mission sort of thing. And I think they played lots of Judgment, Lost Judgment, and they're like, yeah, we can do this, and they did it.
That's
Results
something we
may
didn't
vary.
talk about. That's something we didn't talk about in the previous section, but I really liked getting to have people with you like that. I thought it was fun, especially, the floating Grahatia. But I thought it was a lot of fun getting to do stuff like that. It felt a little more immersive.
I liked that. I wish they had that in the entire game. Let's see, and I didn't mind the stealth missions. Actually, what I really minded was all the different cutscenes where you have to play as a different Scion instead of just getting to play as, like, your character.
Oh, I thought that was fun.
Oh.
Like, I got to it and went, I haven't unlocked Sage. Shit, how does this class work?
Well, I was so mad because, like, Y'shtola and Garaha did not have spells. Both of them are white mage, black mages to different degrees in each direction, and both of them have spells that, as a white mage, black mage, I don't have. And so it was the trap of, I'm overly familiar with these classes that don't play exactly like my class, and it's
Yeah.
it really frustrated me.
That makes I can understand that.
But
so as we've already mentioned, the moon.
Yay, the moon!
Bunnies.
And then we
Moon
go to
bunnies.
the moon, and there's
They were
bunnies
Or
great.
on the
entirely
moon.
different bunnies. Entirely different
love-
bunnies than the bunnies you're used to.
There's
I love the
entirely
Locrits.
different bunnies.
I love the Locrits.
Oh, the
while
Locrits.
They were great.
They
I
were
loved
perfect.
them.
They were everything I wanted them to be.
And usually the ones bringing some welcome levity to what was often a dark game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they very much filled the Moogle / Namazu void that that they need to be filled.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting for appropriate Lollaprit glamours for Lalafels.
Yes. But yeah, so we learn, Hyland made them to build the moon's a spaceship.
Now that is
for
one
every
thing
Star
that,
Wars.
like, okay, so when I was first playing through this game, I got outraged because I was like, are you telling me that this planet had no moon beforehand, that this planet started out with 0 moons? That is not acceptable. We have to have a moon. But then, like, as time has gone by and I really, investigated it and I really sat with the lore, I think that it's not that the spaceship, the moon, was always a spaceship. It's that they converted the moon into a spaceship. And suddenly that interpretation makes me feel better about it.
No, there is no moon. Originally, this planet had no moon.
No!
If you go back, was it Dead Ends? Not Dead Ends. That's the dungeon for this one. The Amarat. And you go into the last boss and you look around the spacescape. There is no moon.
No,
Oh,
I don't
shit,
like
I've
that.
never done that.
Yeah, there is no. This planet had no moon. Also, remember that our physics are not the physics in 14. Like, this is a different universe, has a different set of physics. Like, the moons do not affect the actual tides at all. This is a different place with different laws.
I don't like that. I like the idea that they converted the moon into a spaceship more than I like the idea that they didn't have a moon.
I mean, shoot. I mean, Yoshida's gonna be like, yeah, what, man, whatever helps you sleep at night. This is your Warrior of Light. This is your world. Go for it.
I also need
What's
to
really
tell...
going to blow your mind is there were 7 moons when the planet started.
I need to tell Grahatia how I feel about him. I need to confess.
Maybe that'll be when the game shuts down. They'll be like, you know what? Go do whatever you want. You're able to do whatever you want.
I kept almost thinking in this expansion it was going to let you pick one of the Scions as a romantic interest. I really did. A couple of
Fuck
times.
the Scions. None of the Scions are my romantic interest. But we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. Yeah, you and your villains.
Hey, one of them's not. One of them is a perfect boy.
That's true. That's true.
My perfect shark-hating boy.
Hermes?
After the... Huh? No. Hippolytus.
I know. That was a joke. Jeez.
Hermes has problems. But, so after the moon, after the cute loppers and everything, you go back to Earth and everything's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's on fire.
Like,
I mean, you left
Yeah, speaking of
for
Amarant.
5 minutes, and now everything's on fire.
God, Thavner...
It's like you're back, you walk in the door, you're like, there's fucking rabbits on the moon. Hey, why is everything on fire?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you get to Thavner, and the first thing you do is unlock the dungeon. That dungeon, I think probably one of the worst moments for me in the game was getting to the Arcasadora family in that dungeon and watching them turn. I was just crushed seeing that.
You mean the baby in the...
Well, because you've got the mom that turns, and then you've got the dad and the
Well,
two
no, this
kids.
is a moment in the dungeon.
Oh no, not the baby. Yes, no, the baby's a whole other
No, this
thing.
look, in the dungeon itself, about halfway through.
No, I know what you're talking about. Like, I'm surprised that was more emotional to Anna than the whole storyline that led up to that with the baby in the pond.
The baby happens after.
Oh, it happens after?
Yeah, the baby happens after.
Yes.
Oh, I thought the baby happened before.
No.
By the way,
the
spoiler warning, there's a baby, something happens.
So the baby even happens... The baby even happens
Yashtola's
after...
pregnant.
Your character's the father, no matter what gender. But yeah, no, because that happens, and then you go to Razat Han to talk about the final boss. You find out you've met the final boss before he turned, and that's rough. And then some of the people turn in Razat Han, and then one of the main people you've been talking to, that's the right hand of Ritra, the satrap, or the acting satrap, he gets eaten after you've watched this monster crush a little boy that had just turned in front of his father. This whole zone was just bad. Like, emotionally bad. Then after that, you get to the baby where her parents are dead. Oh.
No, this very much was a section where they were like, okay, what about the Light Wardens and the Light and the Saint Eaters? How can we take that concept, which was already terrible in Shadowbringers, how do we make it worse?
Yeah.
And then they did it. At this point in time, as far as you know, when people die like this, you're done. It's over. Like, your essence doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah, your soul is completely gone.
It's completely gone. You can't even go back into the live stream. It's like the ultimate, most terrible version of death you could have.
You are the most dead in a world where sometimes that's a matter of degrees.
Yeah. So all of this, and then you find out we're going to go time travel. But time traveling is the best part of the game, in my opinion. So you get to go back in time. You go see Elidibus in the tower, and he's like, oh, hey, I've seen you in the past. And you're like, what? He's like, I don't know. I don't remember. Just go. So he sends you back to the past, and he sends you to Elpis, which you learn about Elpis because of the flower. And the Watcher is like, oh, wait, that was a place in my time. And you're like, what? And so then he sends you there, and you're like, okay, we're going to find out about Hermes. Hermes is who Fan Daniel was in his previous life. Like, we're going to find out, what he did, what caused the final days. Great. You can't touch or interact with anyone. You can curse them out all day long. You can't get anyone's attention. And then the two best characters show up.
You immediately get everyone's attention.
Yeah. You finally get to see Emmett Silk, and you finally get to see Hypnodeus, and they're beautiful,
and let me point out that we played through all the Shadowbringers and whatnot. I did not hear Anna talk about Emmett Silk nearly as much. Nuh-uh. You liked him as a character, but you were not like horny on main
Okay, yeah.
like you were after this expansion.
I really, really did like Emmett Selk after Shadowbringers, but no, he's right. Like, I was so excited when we saw him in 5.3. I was like, oh my gosh, he came back, he helped us, yay! It makes me love him even more. But then by the time it ended, I'm like, okay, we're not gonna see him ever again. And then we got the trailer for the expansion, and he's narrating, and I'm like, why is he narrating? What's going on? Why is this happening?
Because time
So-
travel.
Because time travel. And so yeah, Elpis was so much fun, and you got so much information out of that, and you just like
This
it
is-
was great.
This is my boyfriend, and this is my boyfriend's boyfriend.
And depending on who you are, then you see Venat, and you're like, and this is my girlfriend, and her puppy.
I always imagined it was Venat saying that it was Venat introducing her boyfriend, and then her boyfriend's boyfriend.
Yes. But I love that you're like, all right, you go back in time. You're not allowed to tell anyone anything. No, you're not allowed to tell them why they're there. I'm just here. Just, I'm here. Then you get to meet Venat, and she's like, hey, you're from the past. Well, fuck. You know? Wait a minute.
Future.
Future.
Oh, yeah,
you're,
you're from the future. Yeah, you're from the future. It's like, I mean, so then you just spill your guts.
Which is very
And-
useful because she needs you to spill your guts so that way she can make everything happen like it's supposed to, so that way you don't cause any time loops or any weird like paradoxes.
Right, but see, you don't know
Yeah.
that at the time, and then once you get to the last dungeon, if you didn't do the 87 dungeon with Trust the first time, I'm sorry. It was so good. Because you get to take all of them on a date. That's the first time I'm like dungeon date. Yes. I've actually never run it with real people. I've got every piece of gear from that dungeon. I've never run it with real people.
Let's see.
But
I had some comment about. Oh yes, they tell everybody that your Asm's familiar, and you could just like imagine Asm later on going, "Oh yes, my familiar, the familiar I sent to Elpis, the familiar
Yep.
I made specifically to send to Elpis, that was made by me, Asm's familiar."
yes, I completely agree. The worst part is you can't ask Hades or Hythlodaeus about it because they don't remember.
Which is how
And
they.
that's how we prevent a time mess up. Oh, that cutscene, the cutscene at the end of the A7 dungeon when you're leaving and they're getting their memory erased, and when Hades is like, "Do not squander the legacy I leave you." That line, and then if you go back to Shadowbringers and you hear Emmett Selk tell you, "You do not deserve our legacy," is just like Ishikawa is just an amazing writer, amazing. Like I've gone back through and played. Now I played A Realm Reborn and some of Heaven's Word, and there are things that happen that I'm like, the fact that they like took these small moments and brought them back from it for Endwalker is just incredible storytelling.
In so many ways, this expansion, I'm not saying that Avengers Endgame was done wrong, but this expansion was Avengers Endgame done right.
Yeah. I will agree to that.
Like
It does.
complete with like time travel, and make sure that all the big moments are big moments. It takes everything you could have done in this game. Is if there is a chance they can reincorporate it as a callback for you if you've done it, that they take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they even have like, the big scene at the end of Endgame when everybody comes back from being, snapped. You get that in the harbor right before you go to Ultimate Thule. Everybody you've ever met. Like, you had that moment earlier going to Garlemald, but in the harbor, like, anyone you've ever met comes together to bring you what you need to
Sid
go to
shows
the
up
end of
to
the
yell
universe.
at you.
Okay, you know what? The whole daggum expansion. I'm like,
Yeah,
"We're
I
Sid,
kept wondering.
they're working
when
on
are
a
we gonna
ship.
go get
What-
Sid? when are we
Yeah,
gonna go get Sid and involve him in this? And it's not till the very end there where he's like, hold on.
The one time you don't call on me, your problem is a bloody ship that goes to the moon.
Yeah, the one time you don't come and get my help, and you're building a bloody spaceship. What the fuck, guys?
Like, you can ask Basil, the entire time I'm like, where's Sid? Why is that? They're building a freaking ship. Where is Sid? Like, the whole time. So when he showed up, I cheered. Like, I think that was the moment I was like, I'm sorry, Basil. But, yeah, like, it was wonderful. And it was great because I've seen that cutscene. I've seen quite a few of the cutscenes, like, depending on what you've done in the game. Like, in that cutscene, if you've done, like, all the Void Ark stuff, then you see the Sky Pirates. If you've done Evilise, you see the Evilise ship. If you've done, the Warring the Four Lords. If you've done the Four Lords, Salmon's, dialogue is completely different if you haven't. Yeah, like, cause he's like, cause if you've done them, they say that, Suzaku and Saria, they wanted you to have, like, Tenzin's sword. They want me to bring it. If you haven't done the Four Lords, he says he's brought you an ancient relic from the Kojin. Also, speaking of cutscenes, they did some of the best cutscene work, because there's one in Elpis specifically when you first meet Hades and Hythlodaeus that, like I said, when you first go back, you're intangible, you can't interact. Well, Emet-Selt gives you some ether and, like, makes you, equal to them, essentially. And they're like, oh, hey, you adjusted its size. Great job. If you're a Lalafell, Hythlodaeus says, still a bit small, huh? And Emet-Selt goes, it's not size that matters. And that is the best line. It's so cool how different, just the different cutscenes you can get in this expansion. So, after we get our ship and everything done, we go to Ultima Thule, and I can't go to that zone and not cry.
Yeah, it's difficult. And they do it with music. They do it with music cues, and
I really like
it's just
that.
very powerful. And I feel like I need to give a warning. We're in the spoiler section, so I assume everybody who's here has already played through it, and yet I feel that I need to give a warning that if you haven't played through this part yet, to just keep going. Because when I was playing through it, literally my cat just died.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, I couldn't play the game for a couple of days because my cat died. And I was mourning my cat and coming back to the game. I then started playing again, and I got to this point in Ultima Thule, and it was literally just too much. Like, I just could not handle it. So I had to have reassurances that it was okay to keep going. Yeah. Those reassurances being that nobody's really dead. They all die, but they don't really die. It's all okay. In fact, the very next moment after, like, the very next character death after, I put the game down and said, guys, I can't keep going unless somebody tells me that it's okay. The characters themselves actually tell you that it's okay. Like, Yustola mentions, from the way I figure it, we'll all be able to come back once you're successful and you go through with it till the end.
Yeah. And, that's the thing. That her, Istola and Urianger's deaths, that's the moment everyone went, oh, okay, good, we're going to get him back. But then the very next one is Grahatia, and that still gets everyone sobbing.
Yeah. Grahatia is going to come back. They talked to you about this with just the last two character deaths. And yet it's the most impactful one, and you sob and cry anyway. Like, but
yeah.
And I think me and Anna talked in the past about this, and I think it's because, like, it's because Graha sits there and makes you, like, promise that you're going to go on a little date afterwards.
Yeah.
And then his thing that he says to the Omicrons is all about, like, are we really us? Are we ever really us? Are you the same you that you were 7 years ago?
Yeah.
And so I think I think after Graha, it really kind of hits you that it really is all depending on you, even though this is just, like, you have the power to just turn this off and it be just a video game, and then none of them will ever come back because they weren't real. Like, it really does depend on you to, you playing the game. It depends on you to bring these characters that you like back.
Yeah.
And I think the weight of that kind of, like, hits you, and it makes you feel things.
Yeah. So after that, you get to where the twins leave you. The one quest that I watch everyone do is the one right after that, where you're doing the walk. And you actually get the debuff Endwalker. Because you're not allowed to sprint, you're just like roleplay walking, and you go through. You're walking up the staircase the twins just created for you, and every single voice line is just, it hits each time.
Yeah,
and
it pulls up voices.
It starts with Ardbert and it ends with Ardbert.
Every time you are encouraged throughout the entire game. Every time somebody cheered you on or told you could do it, they've laid it all right here. And, like, some of them you can't remember anymore who said it, and that kind of hurts. Because, this person is cheered you on in a time that was hard for you, and now you don't even remember who it is. But more than
they don't tell you.
More than that are all the ones who you do remember who they are. That you're going, oh gosh, I remember this person. I remember when they said that. I remember when they betrayed me like 6 quests later.
It's funny because a lot of those voices, I didn't pick out all of them the first go around. It took me a while, and I even had to look up some of them.
It all combines together in this really climactic moment where you really are just wondering, how is this not the end of the game? How is this not the end of the game? How are they going to have more game after this? Because this is the finale. This is the end. This is the end of everything. This is the culmination of everything I have done in this world up until this point.
Yeah.
How does it go on? And that is itself the question that Endwalker asks.
Yep.
Every moment you walk is the culmination of everything leading up to it. And yet you still have to go on. How do you do it?
What's the line? If you could take another step, or if you could take another step, would you?
Because in the end, the color of the emotion that is in the very final end space isn't despair, it's hope.
It's hope.
And that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
In the end,
and Xenos is a dragon.
I swear to God, Basil called it. He absolutely
Xenos shows up as a dragon.
He told me, he said, Xenos is going to come in the end and help us. And I was like, no. And then he shows up and I went, I hate you so much.
in the midst of all this self-reflection and this deep thinking, fucking Xenos shows up as a goddamn dragon and is like, hey, I noticed you haven't eaten that thing yet that you're hunting. Oh my God. Why haven't you eaten it yet?
Yeah, I think he has one of my most favorite moments actually of, oh, this must be your prey, but why is it still alive? Why is it not dead yet? Like, clearly you're above despair, and you're just like, fuck you!
I also really like how they had so many moments to, like, give Xeno some real character building, and they pretty much don't.
I disagree.
He just keeps being...
He does not have depth. He is exactly who he presents himself as.
I just honestly, I will say within the last little bit, like from probably when we see him in Garlemald on, I actually like him more than when I started this expansion because I hated him. I was like, no, he just needs to go away. I don't ever want to see him again. But I actually, and I still don't want to see him again. But all the moments we had with him in the end, I liked. I actually liked them. It was some very high rated moments on my part, in my mind, and I feel like he did, like, while he did, he did have a little bit of growth because he listened to Alice say when she's like, "You're not gonna get what you want if you keep doing this." So he was like, "All right." So he went and was like, "What can I do to get what I want?" And they were like, and Corral's like, "All right, go help them. Well, I'll give you this to go fight. You can go find your friend. Just go help them." He's like, "All right." But yeah, the final battle is on his back. It's great.
Well, not exactly the final battle.
No, you're
Okay,
completely
the
forgetting
final battle with media.
Well, it's the final battle of the expansion is when they decide to turn the game into Metal Gear Solid 4 when
Yes.
you're shirtless Solid and Liquid Snake on the back of a burning Metal Gear where y'all having to punch each other out for a little bit. That's the final battle. It's just for some reason it's your Warrior of Light and Xenos. I don't know.
If you don't do that as a Lalafell, you're missing out.
I'm pretty happy.
Like, seriously, go and do it. Like, anytime if you ever Fantasia, do it as a Lalafell because it is so satisfying.
Now, I do I was playing as a Reaper for that fight, and Xenos is essentially also a Reaper.
Yeah.
That was a fast fight. That was a fast-paced fight.
Yeah, I was also playing as a Reaper for that fight. It's pretty intense.
I was a Bard, but I would love to go back and do New Game Plus it as a Reaper.
It was pretty fun. Like, it was a lot of fun.
It was so good. And yet,
I still, because I knew if I stopped to do it, it would disconnect me from the internet. I still regret not recording the cutscene after that. I mean, I could go back and New Game Plus it now, I suppose, but
I mean, honestly, you could probably just unending journey.
Run the cutscene.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, that was a good end to Xenos. I don't think we're gonna see him again. I think, with what they've teased, what we've seen, I think we'll be dealing with his Reaper avatar. But I don't think we're actually gonna. I think if we see him again, it'll be in flashbacks or something. I don't think he'll come back.
In any event, that's the end of Endwalker. You save the world from despair.
From Twitter.
Literally.
Now, Stania needs you to go do a treasure map.
Yeah, now Estinian needs you to go do a treasure map.
I do like, I can't remember. I think it's slightly before you go off to the final, or was it after? I know, because you've got, telling you, there's like a whole continent you haven't been to.
That was him itself. That was the cutscene after. When he gives you the the layout for the next expansions. And
the whole continent you haven't been to, and you might find it really interesting if you happen to wander by this place. Like, you personally would find this really interesting.
By the way, you don't know the true identity of the 12.
Wait until, Kevin, you actually go to, like, one of the first things you do is you go to one of those places. He goes, I really think if you are this person, you should go to this place. And you'll get to see what happens, Kevin. I will not spoil it for you, but it's something. It's something.
But I like that because it was like, because, as much as this is the end of this huge storyline, it's not the end.
Yeah. Like, everyone was like, oh, the game's over after this. No. Just this arc.
They're going to do stuff. Well, it is so final that, like...
Yeah,
it's final back in Final Fantasy. Like, what on earth can they possibly do next? Like...
Yeah. But I think if you, like Basil said, like, this was kind of the end game of Final Fantasy 14. And they're still, I mean, they've got through Phase 6 ready to go. So, and Yoshi P, I know, has through his Phase 6 ready to go. Like, they know what they're doing, and they know that they can bring us some good stuff. Like, I trust them. Like, the second that we knew they were doing Final Fantasy 16, it's going to be a good game. There's no way. He wouldn't put out crap.
Well, in any event, it's been pretty fun ever since then.
Yep.
Like, the new raid tier has hit where we're going to
Pandemonium.
We're going to Pandemonium. We're checking out how everything is going wrong in Elpis.
Like, oh my gosh, they've already made me love Emmett Selk. They're making me love Elidibus. This next patch, they're probably going to make me love La Habrea, and I don't want to.
You and your bad guys.
Have you seen Hot Daddy La Habrea?
Oh, why would I need to?
If that's who that is. We don't know that for sure. Look, this game, this team is very good at playing with your expectations. We mentioned it earlier how they've set everything up so you think Heidelin might be a bad guy when in fact Heidelin's like the bestest person ever. For example, we all had a theory of, I remember back when we first started playing Endwalker and we first go to Labyrinthos and we're really not quite sure what the sneaky things the Charlians are doing. Maybe they're prepping a spaceship. Maybe they're just bunkering down. Maybe they're going to escape from the planet with the spaceship. And then it turns out, actually, well, there is a spaceship. That's true. It's actually meant to get to the moon, and the moon is actually the spaceship to leave the planet.
Yeah.
And then you use the actual spaceship that couldn't even get done in time for an entirely, a different place. So they're very good at messing with things where you thought you were done with like Emmett Selk, and no, there is that. And they had dropped Hyphlodeus way back when. Like they are almost Echiro Oda good at taking the expectations you think you have and then turning them on a dime and like, oh shit, oh that's what you meant. Okay, hello, thank you. I didn't know that's what I wanted, but apparently it was.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with all of that. That they are very good at like setting us up to expect one thing, because I had a vague idea that they were probably prepping us that like when I first got to Labyrinthos. Yes, I was on board with the Charlans are probably prepping a space whale. They're probably the people making the space whale to get to the moon, where they'll live out happily, and they're going to just take themselves and leave everybody else. And then, like, you get to what the actual plan is and what's going on, and you kind of feel like a dick for thinking that.
I mean, it doesn't help that Alphino and I'll say his dad acts like a complete asshole every time he's on screen.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
there was one of the biggest questions of this expansion was whether or not their dad was going to go full elf pope or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he going to go full elf pope, or is he going to just go, hey, I am like a leader elf, but I'm totally agnostic, so...
I'm a man of science. I am not an elf pope.
It turned out weirdly that their mom is super hot. Like,
Oh gosh, I love her.
I don't know why
Also
no
super
one saw
important.
that coming, but no one saw
Yeah.
that coming.
Super important.
Like, that
She's
should have
been
been obvious that
bankrolling
their mom would
Alphino
be
for.
hot.
She's been bankrolling Alphino for years, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and the Scions.
By extension, yeah.
No, she was just straight bankrolling the Scions. I think not even. I mean, yes, Alpha and Alsa, yes, but the
Yeah,
Scions
she was-
themselves, like she's been.
She was bankrolling both. She was bankrolling both her children and all those little projects that, like, Alphino got up to. And then also the Scions as a separate bankroll. Like,
It's okay,
That was
kids.
essentially with
Mommy
her-
knows where the fate of the world is at stake at.
And it's with her pocket money, essentially.
Yeah.
Like the money that their dad isn't paying attention to. So the level errors are freaking loaded.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look,
Which makes
I'm
sense
just
by how
saying-
much of a douche Alphino was.
I'm just saying, when it's time to eat the rich, we can spare Alphino's mom.
Not Alphino's dad, but Alphino's mom.
Well, I'm their new dad now, so
Oh, yeah.
I real like when their dad comes in and like acts like a total asshole and disowns them. I really wanted a "It's okay, kids, I'm your dad now" as a conversation option.
Yeah.
Uh,
They needed hugs.
Yes.
it's been 8 months and I still have not written that fanfic that I need to write. So there's one point in the story, where you essentially can pick which scion there's a knock at your door and you can, pick, you go, that must be blah, 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 blah,
Blah,
and then,
yeah.
that must be, is who it turns out to be. And I swear to God that, like, Grahatia and the conversation with Grahatia, like, Graha should not have left. Like, he has this really, like, touching, like, pick you up speech, and then he just kind of awkwardly waves and leaves. Like, there's no way that that's what really happened. And so I need to write the story of what really happened.
Love it.
So he just up and left after all that? For video game ratings purposes, yes.
Yeah, like,
Well, it is also a case of Naoki Yoshida has stated, look, I can't let any Warrior of Light actually date the Scions because everyone else has their waifu or husbando already picked out. And if I actually show any real favoritism, even if it's like an optional favoritism, I'm going to get hung in the town square.
he is
I'm not going-
right. He is correct on that. That, like, as I am sitting here, like, obviously I am Camp Grahatia. Like, I've been saying Grahatia was my boyfriend ever since A Realm Reborn.
He was a bard.
Yeah. So, like, I am 100% in Camp Grahatia, but I know that I'm not the only person in Camp Grahatia anymore, and that's kind of a weird feeling as you look around and you realize that there are other people appreciating your boy, and on the one hand,
Yeah,
you're
right?
super happy that everybody is appreciating him as he should be. On the other hand, it's a little bit like he's not yours anymore. So I get it. So my distinct preference would be that was part of the other part of the reason. Like, the other part of the reason why I just broke down in tears is because they didn't give me the option to tell Grahatia that I loved him before he died. I desperately need to be able to do that. It's okay, he doesn't have to reciprocate my feelings. I get it. But I desperately need him to know that I love him so much. And I don't know if it's okay just letting Yoshi P know that that's how much it is, but he definitely needs to know. I definitely need a way to indicate this to him, whether he reciprocates my feelings or not. That being said, imagine that level of intensity, but for every character. Like, what the fuck is Yoshi P supposed to do with that? Like, I imagine there is some neckbeard out there with that feeling about Alice. There's somebody who probably feels that way about Yestola, and I know there are people who, like, fanboy about Thanacred like that. Like, Thanacred is the daddy. How dare we not recognize his daddiness?
Yeah.
So what is Yoshi P really to do with the kind of intense, like, I'm not even sure that's fandom anymore, like, with this intense, like, feeling that his work of art generates inside of people. Like, we probably would string him up if he showed favoritism to any one at this point, and it wasn't the one you want, and by virtue of everybody wants somebody different,
Right.
like, it's inevitably going to be the one you didn't want.
And that's one of those things where I think this is one of those few cases where this is a little bit uncharted territory. This is this might be the first, like, ultra storyline, character, storytelling, plot important MMO ever. Like, I'm not saying that other MMOs haven't had plots, but the level of storytelling and plotting in this MMO is the same level as you get with, like, a traditional Final Fantasy. And it's a really good one. And I don't think we've had this many, as much of it as, so we've really had time to watch characters grow, change, get really attached to them. Like that, I remember very specifically when we finally finished up this expansion, and one of the final things they do after the cutscenes and the credits roll is they quote unquote end the organization Scions of the Seventh Dawn. And for at least a week or two, I had a angry, fuming wife who was really mad at the game because the Scions were technically now broken apart, even though they're clearly not.
Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy 14, like, most RPGs, even a long RPG, is like, it's at biggest, it's a doorstopper fantasy novel. Final Fantasy 14 has been a series of doorstopper fantasy novels, and we don't know where it's gonna stop.
Yeah, like this game series, this MMO series is like a row of, like, Brandon Sanderson, like, novel series. Like, every 2 years, you're guaranteed, like, a really, really good book.
Yeah.
That also just happens to give you extra chapters to lead you to the next book every few months. But, yeah, yes.
And this goes into why I want to make a whole episode that is just explaining to the people who haven't played 14 why the people who have played 14 are so invested in this stuff. Because, you know, it's on one level there's a certain level of, you know, real things are real in a way in that they affect you. Like a piece of, like, once a work of art is created, like, it has an effect on people and on the world, and even though, like, the representation is of something fictional, it still has a very real impact. And at the same time, elevating it up just from, like, books and movies are all kind of limited in that they don't interact with you personally the way a video game does, the way this video game does, where all along the ways they've given you, like, different little, like, options of things to say and different reactions from the characters that result from your saying your little verbal choices. And so you have a level of interaction with these characters who make such a huge imprint on you, even though they're not real. So it kind of puts them into this weird space where they both are real and not real. They're not sentient in any way, shape, or form, but they're still a little bit more than computer code. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
for
example, I remember in a recent-ish episode of an RPG podcast called Axe of the Blood God, they were trying to rank various RPG parties. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to make sort of a tier list. And don't worry, folks, they included Vesperia as one of the parties. Mostly thanks to Repeat, but you know what? Repeat's a good boy. And the game that kept getting mentioned was Final Fantasy XIV, and it would get raised, and one of them was like, "No, we can't put it in an MMO in this slot." And eventually I was like, you know, your problem is that you're right. You can't just put the MMO in the party list as best parties. What you gotta do is take every expansion and the party that forms in an expansion, and that gets included, and actually half your list is going to be Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
And you would hate that even more, but that's how it works, is that every single expansion has been its own little self-contained thing, and you have different folks that they focus on as part of the Scions. And so, like, for example, I said that, the party you have rolling around with you in Heaven's Ward and Shadowbringers and Endwalker could each, in of themselves, could technically actually get plugged into your top list of best JRPG or RPG parties, period. And I think they could go to toe-to-toe with any other RPG party. It's kind of like, you can't really say Mass Effect in general. You kind of have to pick Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3. While you do have repeats, there are differences, and what happens to the people in each party does vary amongst the games. That's another thing you can think of, is that what if you take all the level of care and growth you see in like a Mass Effect series as a trilogy, now what if that same care and thoughtfulness was put into a whole set of MMO expansions?
I think that is a very good description, parallel.
Okay, well, I think at this point we should probably take a break, and we'll come back with our final thoughts. And we are back with final thoughts, at least for now, on Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. I say for now because we're technically not done. This is a living, breathing expansion in that we get new patches every 4 months or so. In fact, we're about to get the next big patch, 6.2, at the end of August. But for now, for what we got in 6.0, final thoughts.
I think this was my favorite expansion, but I also like the fact that I know Basil has said this before when I've said this, that Shadowbringers and Endwalker feel like a combined thing, and I agree. I love both of them, but I think of the two, Endwalker was my favorite.
I do think that this is the best expansion. I may have some nitpicky details here and there where I may say that Dragon Song was, like, that Heavensward was the better expansion, or Heavensward did this better and that better, but overall story and overall just how much it affected me, like, this is what I'm going to think back to when I think of Final Fantasy XIV. Like, in years to come, like in years from now, this is what I'm going to look back to, and I know that, and I can just tell that, and so that's why I say this is the best expansion. Even though we're continuing to play, and they've still got good things coming, and I trust them in everything, I still don't know where they can go from here. Like, it was so good and so climactic that I'm going to keep playing. I'm going to see what they do from now on, but this was amazing.
Yeah, it's a culmination of the storyline they started for a game that's been pretty consistently solid at the worst in what it's giving us. It kind of had to be the best installment because it's where it all comes together.
Yeah, it's very, very good. I also do want to say, if you haven't seen it yet, please do watch the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. It plays with surprisingly similar themes.
Yeah, it does.
Like, surprisingly, in fact, so much so that I really do think there was, in fact, something in the water, as it were, when these stories were both for the expansion Endwalker and this movie were being made, because it was right, they were being written right before COVID, and everything was experiencing during COVID, which I'm sure had no small part on either one, but yeah, they play with very similar themes. I remember, and I were recently watching the movie. I got the Blu-ray in, and Anna's like, "It's not," and I started explaining my theory, and she went, "It is."
Yeah.
I need to see that still.
It's very
Honestly,
good.
It's very good.
It's
As
very
I say,
good.
if we ever want to have a movie night, we've got it.
I mean, I actually really love Michelle Yeoh a lot, which makes it weird that I've both not seen this or any of Star Trek Discovery, but
We should have a movie night. You should come over. We should watch it. We should have popcorn and pizza. Like,
Oh, I'm down with this. Let's do it.
I'm in favor of this.
Endwalker's good. Final Fantasy 14's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Yep. Endwalker's very
I would
good.
say everyone should go play it, but theoretically, if you're listening to this episode, you're already playing it and you already agree with us. Good job, everybody. We did it.
yay. And if you just
Good
decided
job.
you didn't care about, but if you decided you just didn't care about spoilers and wanted to hear us talk, you should definitely go play it.
This has been the Carbuncle Chronicle, a production of the Awesome Cast, where our theme is done by DJ Inabito, sort of. It's actually been taken and then transformed into its current form for this episode, for this podcast, by Anna, who also does our wonderful editing. You can find the actual website where this and all our other episodes live on the website, awesomecast.com. You can also go to Awesomecast's Patreon, patreon.com/awesomecast, or you can find a link to it on the website. If you are a $5 plus patron, you also now get awesome bonus episodes, which our first actual bonus episode will be mostly about Kevin and I talking about JRPGs. But if you want to talk to us about whatever, you can also go to our Discord and pop on in, say hello. We'd love to have you. Also, if you can leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts or the actual just numerical things on Spotify, use Spotify. That is how people can find us, especially if you actually include some words with your Apple Podcast review. That actually will rank us up a little bit further, and people can actually find us. And that would be cool. You can also find many of us on Twitter. Awesomecast is Awesomecast on Twitter. I am at It's Basil Time. Kevin is at Twitless_Kevin. Anna is at Angel Dogfire, but the middle A is silent. You can also find me on Twitch at It's Basil Time. Have I left anything out?
No, I think you're good.
Excellent. Well then, until next time, happy adventures, folks. We'll see ya in Eorzea.
I don't know if there's theme music to this. I'm not normally
There
here.
is.
Ah!
And it's like, fuck you guys! Fuck you!
I spent so long making that theme.